Trigger warning. The following podcast contains content that may be deeply disturbing. You will hear first-hand accounts from parents and family members who have lost children to filicide, the murder of a child by a parent or caregiver. These stories are raw, emotional, and shared from the perspective of those who have lived them. They include details of unimaginable loss, system failures, and trauma. Please take care while listening. If at any point you need to pause, stop, or step away, we understand. We're going to get started. I'm so excited for this TikTok live event. I'm so excited. I'm going to have Rachel join here in a second, and then Heather is going to be reading comments and replying in the comment section. We have so much planned for this live. We've been planning and promoting and all kinds of fun stuff. So excited to share with you.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone. I know we see some people here in the live.
This is Rachel. She is the one behind the scenes of the podcast. Rachel edits and publishes and does all the amazing social media posts like that I can't do because I'm technologically illiterate sometimes.
No.
This is Rachel. She does an amazing job. And then Heather will also be in the comments. Heather is the other half of Like Mother, Like Murder.
Yes, she is. You know what? You're not illiterate, and we make a great team. So I'm very honored to be here with you and to, help along this journey.
Yeah, so excited. Oh my gosh, there's so many people, and I'm excited. I saw Nakessa is already on, so we have your name in the drawing, Nakessa. So wait till we end. See if you win merch.
Yeah, we'll be doing the merch giveaway at the end. For anyone who is here that does not know what is going on, today we are doing a live podcast taping. And so Hope will be kind of giving an overview of season 1 of Voices Against Filicide, her podcast. It's more than just a podcast, it's a movement. But that is what we are doing here on TikTok Live. She'll be answering a bunch of questions, and then we will have a Q&A portion at the end, and then the merch giveaway. So that is what we're doing here. I know I saw the name Nakessa that you mentioned. We have someone Mitten Made Pastries.
That's Jessie. Hi, Jessie.
Oh, hi, Jessie. Heather was here. Heather's here. Beach Butt. Alice. We have one that's just a bear. Hello, bear. Love it.
Hello, Heather.
Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
Awesome. All right. If you're good, we can get into it and get started.
Yep. Let's go.
Everyone that's here, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Like I said, this is not just a podcast recording. It's so much bigger than that. Tonight is about love. It's about loss. And it's about this mother's determination to make sure no other family has to live the nightmare that she did. So before we get into the questions, I'm going to let Hope speak on why we're here, why this is even happening in the first place.
Yeah, so after Alec and Lydia were murdered in 2024 by their father in Arizona, I grieved, and I did a lot of therapy and spending time in silence with God. And I realized that I wanted to do something bigger than myself to help other people. And slowly that turned into social media here on Hope and the Pain. Then that turned into being able to be on podcasts like Mother Like Murder, Crime Salad, Truly Twisted, Perplexity, a crime podcast. The list goes on and on. And so through those interviews, Rachel and I thought that it would be a great idea to make a podcast specifically dedicated to the Voices Against Filicide, talking about filicide awareness, cases of filicide that happen in our country and other countries, as well as domestic violence, spreading awareness of mental health, mental illness, suicide, all the hard topics. I don't shy away from those hard topics. And I think it's very important to keep talking about them, because if we don't, then the problem isn't going to ever change. We have to step out and start speaking up so that people understand first what filicide is, and then how from there we can change the trajectory in the family court system through legislation.
Right. Definitely. So tonight, you guys, thank you again for being here. Before we get into it, I do want to mention, I know Hope and I had talked about this beforehand. We do have the merch giveaway at the end, but for anyone who would like to get their hands on merch as well, there is a merch site that you guys are able to access and get anything on there. There's hoodies, there's shirts, there's bags, there's cups, there's stickers, there's a bunch of different stuff.
There's aprons for cooking, tons
There's
of stuff.
aprons. Yeah. I love when people get the aprons. Heather just commented in the bottom saying, let us know if you guys have any questions. We will have the Q&A at the end, and Heather is in here collecting all of those questions so that if there's anything specific that we do not cover, she'll be answering at the end. Anything that she's able and willing.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys are going to get her to not share something. She's very open book. Yeah. So if you're ready, we will get right into it.
Ready.
So we're going to start kind of with focusing on Voices Against Filicide and just reflecting on the podcast itself. So Hope, season 1 was powerful and emotional. When you look back at it as a whole, what stands out to you the most?
The amount of filicide cases that I covered that were just from the year 2025 and 2024. And those were just a minute number of cases that actually happen in our country. And just the same different stories, because every child is different, but the same story of this could have been prevented.
Right. Yeah, which is kind of the reoccurring theme, which we'll get to more when we talk about kind of the mission and what you're doing. With these episodes and the reason that this is started in the first place, what do you hope that listeners will walk away with after listening to the stories on your episodes?
I hope they walk away with an understanding of this isn't an isolated event in one state or another state. It's happening all across our country. And there are always warning signs and red flags. We just need to pay attention to those. And, be that person that steps up when somebody needs our help.
Yeah. I mean, you said it just now, the red flags, there's cries for help, there's missed opportunities. So what are some of the most common warning signs that you see or saw across the cases that you covered in season 1 or even within your own story?
Yeah. The one common thread throughout every filicide case that I covered was violence towards children, and a lot of them, they were in the family court system, and the family court system was not protecting the children, or DCS or CPS was involved and they didn't step up and protect the children, even though there was viable warning signs of neglect or violence towards the child.
And, I don't want you to have to get into everything within your case. There is the podcast. If you guys are here and you've never listened to Voices Against Filicide, go check it out. Episode 2, Hope shares her entire story there. Well, parts of the story. We'll get to more of your story later. But that is there for you guys to listen. But that's exactly what happened in yours. There were so many things that were missed, that were not listened to or taken seriously enough. So in this season, was there a moment while recording season 1 that really stayed with you, or kind of like added to what you're doing, or changed you in a way, I guess?
Yeah, I think honestly, out of all the episodes, the ones, there's a few of them that changed me. The one that I've talked specifically about domestic violence and the warning signs from that, because studies show and statistics show that if there is any sort of domestic violence in a relationship and you have children, they're at higher risk of filicide cases, and just in homicide in general, you're at higher risk if you're in domestic violence situation. So that really hit home. And then the bonus episode that we did regarding the Skelton brothers here in Michigan, which, if you've never heard of the Skelton brothers case, please go and listen to that. There has been updates in that case. It's very riveting because when I first recorded that podcast, there was so much stuff happening that I actually had to go back and re-record it because there had been new information that had just come out. So I wanted to give you the most updated information that was available.
Yeah, that was happening real time. Even though that case was local to where you were, and it's something that you knew from, was it 2010?
2010, yep.
2010. So that's something that you've known about for so long. And then in real time, when you're talking about it, having those changes. Yeah, so in the first season of Voices Against Filicide, it is cases, mainly. It's you telling the stories of different filicide cases. And then we have, the warning signs episode, stuff on mental health, domestic violence, those things. And we're going to see a very, very big shift in season 2 because you've kind of, I don't want to say you're stepping back from the cases because that's important. That will happen. Those are not going away, but you do kind of like shift and you're focusing on other conversations with other people. So do you kind of want to touch on some of that?
Yeah, so we're going to still cover cases, but we're going to cover cases with interviews. So I will have parents who have really gone through filicide and lost a child to filicide, and they're going to be coming on and sharing their story of what happened to them and what happened to their beautiful children. And then they're also going to be sharing with me what they're doing now, right? Because Voices Against Filicide is about telling what happened to these children, but it's also a place where I want to make sure that people have a place to advocate and to make change in their own way to honor their own children. So we're doing that. We're also having interviews with different legislators. We're having interviews with professionals that deal with coercive control, domestic violence. We have child safety advocates coming on for different states and nationally. So each episode in season 2 will consist of an interview, conversation style.
Yeah, I think that seeing that shift, I think people are going to get a lot out of those conversations. Another thing in season 1 that I felt was, and I know I've spoke on this to you, Hope, but that I thought was so important is you have one of your friends join you for an episode and just kind of talk about her stance and her presence in your life, from knowing your children and then being there for you and like how to be someone in your presence after going through something like this, And so I think that episode was a big.
Yeah, I think that was episode 8, and it was with my best friend Lauren. And I sat down with her and we had a really in-depth conversation, about what she saw, her memories of the kids, and then what she saw, red flags as a friend before the filicide even happened, right? Because there was domestic violence there in my case before this even happened. And so we talk about those red flags that she saw that were strange, but she really didn't know at the time how much that would really impact my story. And then she talks about how she walked beside me as a best friend, having somebody go through such a tragic loss. And Lauren is more than just a friend. Her and her family are like family. I've known Lauren since I was 17. So like the 20 years now. So
yep, that's I personally, I really, really love that episode. myself. So one of the things you just touched on was that, with those conversations in season 2, there's so much more that's coming out. There's, people who are actively trying to change laws. There's people who are working within the system. There's other parents who have gone through this that are doing things. And so right now, you've been very open about working to change laws in Arizona. Arizona is the starting point for you because this is where you were failed. Your children were failed. So can you talk to us about what changes you are trying to make in Arizona right now?
Yeah, so we have developed the Alec and Lydia Act. We are currently finishing up writing that, and that will be pushed into legislation in the session that's going to be opening here shortly, along with other child safety bills. I think there's about 9 or 10 of them in total. One of them will be called the Alec and Lydia Act, and a lot of the bills have to do with what I've been through. So one bill is about domestic violence and training judges on domestic violence and what to look for, coercive control, all those kind of things. The Alec and Lydia Act specifically talks about the first sign that something is wrong in a family court case. So we will have a risk safety analysis. And so if there's any safety factors that the judge sees right away. So if there's any diagnosed mental illness, if there's any domestic violence and there's an order of protection, if they've been in prison or in jail and there's files for that with police reports, anything that they see that can actually be proven that it is a safety risk to the child has to be looked at, and the full picture has to be made available for that parent to receive unsupervised visitation with their child. And we're not trying to take away unsupervised visitation from a parent, and we understand that parent rights are important, but we don't want those to overshadow the safety of the child or children like it was in my case. In my case, Brock's parental rights were over and above Alec and Lydia's safety, and there were many, many warning signs. And so that's what we're doing in this bill is we're taking all the warning signs that were in my case and some other parents' cases, and we're making them into a bill because this isn't a one-off. This happens all the time. And so we want to make it into a bill and make sure that there has to be a protocol for the judges to follow to make sure that the child safety is put first, especially if there's mental illness involved. And so that's what the Alec and Lydia Act will focus on, is that safety factor when mental illness is prevalent and present.
Yeah. A major theme in your advocacy is that the filicide prevention has to start at the root. And that's what you're saying right there, is that the children have to come first when you're doing this. So I feel like you did touch on so much that does need to change within the system. Because that's ultimately where everything is falling apart. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, some filicide cases, don't happen in family court, and we understand that, but we have to start somewhere, and so that's why I'm going after the family court and trying to change the laws there to protect children, where I can.
Yeah, and statistically, it is higher in these cases to see that it has had some sort of, whether it's a CPS case, something opened, or domestic violence or something else within when these are happening. One of the most devastating truths is how many warning signs get dismissed. What are the key red flags being overlooked that you want to bring national attention to?
Orders of protection are not being thoroughly looked into, so there might be abuse in the family court dynamic, and those aren't being looked at. Mental illness is not being looked at, specifically those psychosis, schizophrenia, the high factor of a mental illness. And I wanted to share a statistic and some research that we've done as a part of the Alec and Lydia Act, that if there is any sort of discussion or thoughts of homicide or suicidal ideation in a family court case, if there's any sort of demonic biblical ideology, especially ideology that's biblical and demonic that features the children, such as they believe in demons, or they think, all of that kind of stuff, or they're paranoid, or in my case, he specifically stated that Satan wanted him to sacrifice the children, but he chose Jesus. And that specifically right there has a high proven risk of filicide. And that statement alone should have made the judge pause and reevaluate the situation, because those were major red flags when you're talking about demonic possession and all of those types of things, because your reality is shifted because you're not in a stable state of mind.
For anyone who's here on the live, for anyone who listens to the podcast, for anyone that you talk to, what action can they take? What would be their first steps that they could take to help you in anything that you're doing when it comes to this movement?
Follow me on social media at Hope in the Pain, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Follow, if you're in Arizona, follow state legislation when the Alec and Lydia Act and other child safety bills are going to be pushed out. When those are pushed out, we will have hearings at the state capitol in Phoenix. And that's something that's open to the public, that you can show up and you can sign the petition and sit in on the House floor and, hopefully the Senate floor, and hear these, bills being passed and hopefully being put into law. The more people we have involved in that, the more that the senators will understand, and the people that are making these into laws will understand how important it is. And I want to also let you know that all these child safety bills, it's not Republican or Democrat, it's saving children is at the heart of it. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you are. This is about saving children's lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then also following the podcast, leaving a 5-star review and a rating, and buying merchandise. And I'll have other things coming out this year that you can come and see us in person.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there. See, all of those other things. I mean, you're making so much change. You are putting in so much time and effort and work because it matters, because you know what it is and you want to help make that change for other people. Everything else when it comes to, social media or your podcast, it just helps to get other people to see it. So that's when we're speaking on listening to the episodes or following on social media, it's so we can get as many eyes and as many people to get on board with exactly what Hope is doing to help push and make that change that is necessary. So we're going to kind of shift a little bit. One of the things that you have been working on over the past, is it almost 2 years?
So almost 19 months. Yep.
So you wrote a book.
I did.
You wrote a book called There's Still Hope, A Journey of Adversity, Tragedy, and Unshakable Faith. So you wrote a book, which is also just like writing a book is crazy. But your book, There's Still Hope, comes out next year. So why did you ultimately choose to write a book through all of this?
Well, first, it was therapeutic for me, and I wanted to get my thoughts onto paper as a therapeutic tool. But the second part is I wanted to have someone who opens the book and reads it get something out of it. So I want the person that's sitting there at the library going through a dark time that might pick up my book, might see something in my book that helps them, that says, oh my goodness, she's going through the same thing I'm going through, or whatever it might be. And there's so many examples of that in the book. The book doesn't just focus on the Alec and Lydia filicide case and what happened. It focuses on many, many factors of my life. It's a short memoir, so it's a quick read, but it's very enticing, and it's a page turner. At least that's what my publishers say.
This has been more than just writing the book. It's been therapeutic for you, emotionally, all of that. So it's just been more than writing. It's that journey of letting the emotions go out onto the page and giving to someone else who needs that. When people close the book after reading the final page, what do you hope that they feel or understand?
I want them to understand that there's still hope, even in the darkest of times. Even if they go through child loss or grief of any kind, or whatever it might be, a diagnosis that they weren't expecting, there is always still hope. And the common theme in my book is that, my faith is an integral part of my life. And it's something that is a pillar and a foundation that I always stand on. And that's the reason that I'm here today. That's the reason that I'm on this TikTok live and I'm doing what I'm doing every day, because it's only through the grace of God that I'm doing this. There's two options. There's one, I can go and curl up in a ball and lay in bed all day, or two, I can move forward in honor of Alec and Lydia and try to help someone else by changing laws and by my public speaking advocacy and all the things that my book, everything that I'm trying to do.
You mentioned about the fact that, you can curl up in a ball and stay in bed and do all that. And I'm sure you do that. It's not like you're, so many people see you on social media as someone who is, in my opinion, someone who is very bubbly and full of life. And you have those hard days. You have those really, really painful moments all the time. And you're making the choice to fight through that. And when you feel like you can't stand anymore with your faith, you kneel. And that's how you're getting through all of this. So I cannot wait for that book to come out. That is coming out next year.
It's coming out at the end of March. And I can share a little bit. We are through the first stage of editing. We're going into the second stage of editing. Then we will be going into cover design, and then final editing. And then I am so excited because I've had so many friends come out and release books, and I have a really hard time reading print because I have a visual impairment. And I always ask them, is there an audio version of your book? And usually they say, I'm sorry, no, there's not. But for my case, there will be an audio version available on Audible, and I will also be narrating that version.
That's incredible. 2026 is going to be huge for everything that you are doing when it comes to changing laws, making changes within, Arizona and hopefully beyond your book. But you are also attending multiple events next year. So we're going to kind of touch on that. You've committed to several different advocacy events. I guess we can kind of just go through and talk about each one of them. So I know next year you will be attending Beyond the Crime Convention, CrimeCon, and Advocacy Con. So the first one, Beyond the Crime Convention, is in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and you'll be speaking there. So how do you feel about that?
I'm stoked. I'm so excited. I'm also excited that I will have someone up there with me. Brandy Mori Pools will also be with me, and we will be talking about filicide together and be a united front. And I totally believe that, more voices are more powerful than one. So I'm so excited.
I think that, that's going to be It's not an event that I've attended. I don't know. This is the first time, and I'll be there with you guys. So I'm very, very excited. So will Heather. And I think that it's going to open so many more doors for meeting people and not only just sharing the story, but being able to find more people to help make moves and make pushes in the directions that you want to go. Um, that's in April. So I think it's April 11th and 12th. So anyone in the New Mexico, Albuquerque area, please come. Please come and meet Hope. Please come and meet Brandy. They would love to see you guys there. The tickets for that event are live right now, and Hope will be speaking. Then after that one is CrimeCon in Las Vegas at the end of May. Is it May 29th? Yeah, May 29th through 30th or 31st? 31st. So we're kind of waiting. Our fingers are crossed. You have not heard back on
Lots
whether
of emails have been sent.
Yes. So we're kind of in that little limbo phase right now.
But we are going no matter what. Our tickets are paid for. We are attending all. We Heather, Rachel, myself, hopefully Brandy Morey Pools. My friend Lauren will be attending that one with me. She's already signed up, ready to go. So yeah, I'm so excited. And I forgot to say, at all of these events, Rachel, I will be selling my book. So
yes.
At Advocacy Con or at Beyond the Crime, at CrimeCon, and at the next one that I'll be doing in September.
Yes, you will. That I feel like you just need to have a bag that you carry and take with you everywhere so that you always have it with you. And I feel like I need to do the exact same. So I need my own little There's Still Hope bag. So after CrimeCon, which I feel like we're just speaking it into existence at this point. I think it's not if it's a win, you know. Because not only did you apply for speaker, podcast, booth, all of it, it's like there's so many different ways to get you in to do that. So after that is
today I got graduation for Advocacy Con, and I'm officially going to that, and I will be speaking at that as well and having a booth there for the book and for Voices Against Filicide. All of these different things, hopefully I'll at least have a booth if I'm not speaking. So
yeah, which I believe that you will be. That was kind of the conversation that I remember. But that one, Advocacy Con, I think is made for what you're doing. So yes, Beyond the Crime and CrimeCon are events that are going to help with exposure in the sense of getting more people to be able to be involved and really see what work and what effort and what you're doing. But Advocacy Con is the place where that I feel like that is where change is made within this community. So that I feel like you're going out of the year with a bang at that point. It's like you're leading up to that moment, in my opinion. So
and then I have more information. Today I also had a meeting, and locally here in Michigan and the Lake Orion / Clarkston area, which is in Metro Detroit, I'm going to be doing a live event at the beginning of May where I'm going to be speaking, as well as you can buy my book and all of that kind of stuff. So
yes,
that's 4.
That is 4. Oh my God. That is, big time. I know that we have a few more people that have been coming on. If you guys have any questions for Hope, please drop them in the comments. She will be doing a Q&A after I'm done asking her a billion questions, which I'm getting there. But yeah, if you guys have questions specifically, please drop those in the comments. Back to Voices Against Filicide, because that is one of the things that you'll be kind of talking about at each of these events too. What do you think the next phase of that movement looks like?
I really hope and pray that I continue to have amazing interviews, people that are reaching out to me to be interviewed, just like I was reaching out to other podcasts to be interviewed. I hope that people reach out to me, whether that's they've gone through a filicide case or they're an expert in research in filicide, or child safety advocate, or whatever that might be. I hope the platform gets bigger and bigger. And I know that we have other countries that listen to the platform. And so I hope that it can spread all across the United States, but also to as many countries as possible.
So I know with the different collaborations and stuff that you have done for season 2, is there anyone of those or anyone else that you've kind of been partnering with in making differences? So I know that you've been working with legislatures in, the Arizona state law, but I know you've had meetings with National Safe Parents, stuff like that. Are you working with anyone else as of right now?
Yeah, so National Safe Parents, I'm working with Danielle. I always want to be available for their monthly meetings that we have. I'm working with Arizona Safe Parents. Obviously, those are the ones that were spearheading it with legislation for the Alec and Lydia Act and the other child safety bills. I really hope that, like I said, I can be involved with more advocacy. Someone did reach out to me that will be on the podcast that works at Purdue University, and she's a researcher, and she's trying to get a grant right now approved so that she can do filicide research, because Rachel, there is hardly any research on filicide. And so I'm partnering with her with that. Once she gets the grant up and running, I will be one of the case studies, or Alec and Lydia will be one of the case studies for that filicide research.
Gotcha. Just more and more big stuff. So what is the biggest change that you want to push for in 2026?
Laws, obviously. I want the Alec and Lydia Act to be changed and, put into law in Arizona to honor Alec and Lydia, but to also keep children safe. I want to make sure that we start using the word filicide when we're talking in the media. Just the other day, I saw an article that again said homicide/suicide, and it was involving a parent with a child. And so in that case, it should be called filicide suicide. And so that's changing that dynamic as well. And I'm actually going to Arizona next week, and I do have an interview scheduled with hopefully with Justin Lum. He's the investigative reporter at Fox 10 Phoenix, and we will be talking about Voices Against Filicide, the Alec and Lydia Act, what we're trying to change in legislation in Arizona. But I will also be really hammering home with him and any other of his colleagues that are there that they need to use filicide in the media.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, going back to just when all of this happened for you, so many people don't know that term. And I know when we have talked with Brandy, she learned that term from you. So it's stuff that just is not common in even people who have gone through it.
In the language, yes. And I feel like that's where we need to shift, right? It took us several years to use the word suicide and use it properly, but now you can say the word suicide to anybody, even a teenager, and they understand what suicide is. I want to make it so prevalent that when I say filicide, you know what it is. Not that that's, a bad thing, but I want people to be aware of what it is without me having to explain it. And then by the advocacy, by the awareness, by us saying it more and more and more, it will bring more awareness so that hopefully we can have research and understanding to prevent filicide as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Is there anything else in the stuff that we've kind of discussed so far that you want to go more in depth, or are you ready to kind of open the floor? If anyone has questions for you, we can start getting into that.
Yeah, I can answer any questions that anybody has for me. I just would really appreciate it if anybody right now is watching, go and listen to the podcast, and any support is very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're not following, if you're here, you just happen to stumble, across this live, make sure that you are following Hope in the Pain here on TikTok, on Instagram, everywhere, on Facebook, all of the different places. We'll see right now. I know Heather was in here trying to gather if there were any questions coming through. So while I'm waiting to hear from her, if you are hearing you have a question, please drop it in the comments right now. And then after we answer some of those questions, if some come through, then we will be doing the merch giveaway. And I know that we had some names in here that were on that list too. So let me see. So she said, as it went through, I think we were answering so many questions and going through so many questions that no one wrote any questions on here. Yeah, which, I mean, I feel like that means you did a great job answering things that there are none. Let's see. Let's give it another minute and see if anyone has anything else. And I'm trying to rack my own brain to see. Oh, Heather has a question for you.
Yes.
So she said, there's so many plans for 2026. Are you looking further, and do you know what any plans are for 2027 yet?
Oh gosh, Heather. Season 3 of Voices Against Filicide, hopefully for 2027. I talked a little bit about it with Rachel, so hopefully the podcast will still be going strong. And speaking that into existence, I'm so excited for that. Hopefully more and more appearances on different platforms, with my book and, advocating for Voices Against Filicide and that movement. I just really hope that I can get this out to the bigger media. I have reached out to people like the Drew Barrymore Show, Tamron Hall Show. I reached out to, she works for News Nation, and we met her, the blonde hair.
Oh, Ashley Banfield.
Ashley Banfield. I reached out to the Megyn Kelly Show. So I'm sending so many emails every day that are like, hey, I want to share about Filicide. Hey, I want to share about Filicide. So my prayer is that hopefully those emails and those doors will continue to open, even more so than I'm thinking right now. So
yeah, definitely. Heather has another question for you based off of kind of what you were just saying with all of those different people you've reached out to. What would be kind of a dream appearance for you?
I mean, anybody and everybody. I really love Kelly Clarkson. I would really like to be on her show and talk about Filicide. I really like Drew Barrymore. Just any one of the bigger podcasts. And I do want to say thank you to each and every podcast, each and every platform that I've been on. There are still more podcast interviews that I've done that haven't released yet from other podcasters. I hope that each and every one of you listens to each and every interview that I've done, because they're all a little bit different.
Yes. Yeah. So really quick, I want to touch on that. I even learn stuff from each of the different ones that I listen to. Not that I know every single thing. We talk often, but I mean, there's still so much that comes out when I'm listening to a new one, and I just go, wow, I haven't heard that, and it's just, whether it's whatever direction that conversation is going, however vulnerable you get in a moment, or if just something triggers like another memory from something, all of those, which I'm still working on website stuff, but
there's so many. Voices Against Filicide will have all of them. Rachel is currently working on them, but there are ones that are already on our website. So please go and check those out. I know I just did Invisible Tears. I just did Don't Blame the Mom, which was huge because that's in the UK. So I got to do something outside of the United States, which was a learning experience for me, because remember, they're from a different country. So explaining things here, I had to make sure that they understood what I was trying to say as far as like geography, where like Michigan is to Arizona, all of those types of things when I was explaining my case. So that was a really, really cool experience.
Yeah. All of those will be on the website. The website is voicesagainstfilicide.odoo.com. There's a bunch of other information on there as well. And I mean, it's Hope, and it's also Brandy Mori Poles with Rowan Mori Poles on there also. We did have a question come in just now, Hope, about is there any update on Nancy Grace covering the Alec and Lydia Act?
We have emailed, haven't we, Rachel? And yes. Nothing yet. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Her team is just probably busy. But
yeah. Hopefully. And I'm going to cut this clip of this conversation we're having right now and email it directly to them as well. If I'm anything in life, I'm just very like, I'm going to get in your face. I'm a shoot your shotter.
Yes. Yes.
I need to be that way. So I'm wondering if this is one of your friends, Think Pink Disciple.
Yes. Lauren.
Oh, Lauren, hi! I didn't know that was her. So she has a question for you. I know you have lots going on, but I would love to see you write a devotional. Any plans for that?
Yes. Lauren is actually bringing that up because her mom actually placed that on my heart, and it is in my notes section in my phone. And so eventually, yes, I will be doing a devotional in the future. That's just in God's timing that will come out. But yes, hopefully any proceeds I make from the book, There's Still Hope, all of those proceeds will go back into the devotional, will go back into Voices Against Filicide. All the merchandise that we sell, all of the stuff that we do always goes back into what we are doing. So
that's perfect. Now the questions are coming in. Hope, let's keep it going. So I got to scroll back up. Where did this one? It says outside. Hey, I can't see you. I might have to pick this phone up. Okay. Outside of Fox meeting next week, what are your other plans to move legislative directive in Arizona?
Yeah, so we have already worked on the Alec and Lydia Act and other child safety bills. I will be also speaking in Arizona on the 18th of this month. I forgot what month we were in. 18th of December. I will be speaking at the Judicial Committee hearing in front of the Judges Board, which is the board of judges that other judges are supposed to come to and talk about their cases if something goes wrong. And so obviously something went wrong in my case and that wasn't followed. So I'm going to speak out at the Judicial Committee hearing. A bunch of Arizona Safe parents are coming with me. So I'm going to have a whole, group of people with me that they might speak as well on how they have been failed by the judicial system in Arizona. So it's just making a bunch of noise. It's making sure that people know what's going on. That's why I'm doing the interview with Fox 10 Phoenix with Justin Lum. That's why I reached out to him. And one door will make another door open.
Yep. And I feel like a lot of doors are going to be opening in this upcoming year for sure. Nakisa, she said, would you like to share about the book project with us and other surviving filicide parents?
Yeah, so the book project that I am doing is called There's Still Hope. It's a short memoir because I didn't think that anybody wanted to sit there and read Hope's whole life story from front to back, and that'd be boring. So I did a short memoir, which consisted of short stories that make a difference that have made a difference in my life and have structured and outlined the person I am today. So it's a roller coaster of emotions. I do put a disclaimer at the beginning of the book that you need to make sure that you have Kleenex available and that you are ready to go on the roller coaster of emotions. It's not just sad, negative emotions. There are very many happy moments in the book as well, but there's a lot of them. And it's very, like I said earlier, it's a page turner. It's very, you're not going to want to put the book down. And then when you do put the book down, you're going to give it to a friend and they're going to read it. Because I do want to tell you that Lauren has already read the book in its pre-draft form. And she and a couple other people that have read it in its pre-draft form thought it was amazing. And again, she's been my friend since the age of 17, and there was stuff in the book that she didn't even know.
Yeah. Yep. It's coming out. I am eager to get my hands on that book. March cannot come soon enough. So Beach Butt. I keep saying names as if I'm like, maybe you know who it is with, them being
unless
here.
they put my name, unless they put their name, I don't know that person, but put your name down and maybe I do.
Maybe. So they're asking, do you have anyone in Canada that you are working with?
Do we have anybody in Canada, Rachel?
So I know Truly Twisted, you did work with Alicia out of Canada on a podcast episode. So I'm curious if they're meaning something more along the lines of, law changing, like that kind of stuff. So if there's kind of more beach butt that you're meaning with that question, please let us know. But there is, if you are talking about podcast episodes, Truly Twisted, Alicia, she has had Hope on an episode there. Let's see. What else is here?
I love all the questions, guys.
Yes, keep them coming.
Exciting.
This one, I'm not sure if I'm missing something context-wise, but there's a question that says, are they going to remove him? What is needed to get him out?
Oh, the judge. That's what it was in.
Okay.
So Judge Michael Valenzuela, and I will say his name because there's nothing that can be done to me in regards to that. So Judge Michael Valenzuela failed Alec and Lydia, failed me, and failed Brock. And there hopefully will be. That's why I'm going to the Judicial Committee hearing and going to speak in front of the judges. Hopefully they have some wisdom that they can share with me or something that they can do. The one thing that I've heard from legislators and I've seen in real time is my case was big, but it was only big for so long and then people forget about it, right? And so there's been people that didn't even know about my case that are working on child safety bills in Arizona that they now know about my case and are helping me work through things. So I will give you information and I'll share this with you because you're on this live. So but I actually cannot get into my records. I can't get into the electronic records system in Arizona. The judge sealed the records. I originally thought he sealed them just from the public because there was neglect or some type of negligence on his part, which I still believe there is. But now we have come to understand that I am also sealed from those records, which is not okay, which I've talked to senators about. I've talked to legislators. I've talked to attorneys. And I have an attorney working alongside me that is working on figuring out why it's sealed and trying to get it unsealed. That is currently happening right now.
I feel like this question is a great question. So thank you to Mitten Made Pastries. What advice do you give to people walking the same path when it comes to staying strong in their faith?
Everybody has a different faith journey. I fully believe, talking to many parents that have gone through filicide, we all deal with our grief differently and we all seek God or a higher power in a different way. And so I believe that that is something that you should do, whether that you believe that that's God, which 100% I do, and that is a part of my faith, and that will be all in the book. But even if it's not, find something that gives you comfort. I have a friend that has lost her children to filicide, and she chose to seek out other herbal treatments to help her feel connected with her children who passed away. And so we each have a different variation of how we go along this grief journey. And so I guess that's my best advice is, you do what makes you comfortable and what makes you move forward each and every day.
Yeah. We have a non-serious question for you. How were the Backstreet Boys in Vegas?
They were awesome. They were awesome. So it was really funny because I do have my visual impairment. So my equilibrium was a little off. So I had to take like Dramamine and like Bonine, which are medications for motion sickness. And because everything is coming at you, I still had a little bit of like wooziness. So I definitely, if you are somebody that's prone to motion sickness, don't disregard them saying you shouldn't see this show at the Sphere because of motion sickness, because they are true. It is 100% correct. If you severely struggle with motion sickness, the Sphere might not be for you, but it was amazing. It was so good. I mean, I've had so many concerts since then. I've done Backstreet Boys, 2 Jonas Brothers concerts, and Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace. So there's been a lot of concert going recently.
I feel like that also is something that you do a lot, which I love to see when you go. Also, I will not be going to the Sphere because I can't even sit on a swing without feeling sick. So thank you for that advice, because I saw that they had the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere a little while ago, and I was so jealous I could not be there, but I would not be able to do it.
You'll see the Sphere when we go, but you can't just go inside the Sphere and see a show. I would not recommend that, Rachel.
No, okay, done. I will not do it. Okay, let me scroll back up. I will say Lauren did say that There's Still Hope is definitely a page turner and that she highly recommends it. Chris on Crime. Chris is here. Hi, I love her. She is here. Was wondering if you know. Oh, so Beach Butt was actually wondering. And I said Beach Butt again. I don't know if you said your name. If you did, sorry. Say it again. But they were wondering if you know of filicide cases in Canada. So
there are filicide cases in Canada. I can't think off the top of my head statistics, but yes, in every country there are filicide cases. It's not just the United States, it's not just Australia, it's not just the UK. They're everywhere. I could do some research, and next time we do a live, I can bring that to you. I don't have that information right now.
Right. It is everywhere. We have seen so many other statistics come out. I know that when we met with Brandy one time, she was talking about Sweden. I think it was Sweden, or was it?
No, it's Sweden.
Sweden, right? Having like 4.
Correct.
Where the number here is
Australia has 20. And then the United Kingdom, like London area, has like 1 or 2 every few years. Like, it's very, very prevalent here. And I actually talk about this. There's an interview that I do in season 2 with someone that is in Australia that is currently working with Child Protective Services there. And we talk about, there's only 20 cases reported in Australia compared to our over 500 here in the US. What is the difference? And the number one thing that she talked about is our guns, right? And I don't want to get political, but that is true, right? A lot of these filicide cases, it's the fathers that commit them, not always, but 60% of the time. And the number one use of a weapon or a way to do this is using a firearm.
Yeah. I know, just thinking about season 1 of Voices Against Filicide, in multiple cases you talked about there is exactly, what happened. So I don't see any more questions coming in yet. I see Chris is sending a bunch of stuff. Thank you. You're amazing.
Thank you, guys.
I'm like looking up and it's just like boom, boom, boom.
Well, again, say to everyone, Chris was amazing. Chris, when the case first broke here, I remember getting text messages from my friends in Arizona. I was still in Arizona. I was sitting at my kitchen table and I got a text message and my sister read it out loud and it said, "Do not have Hope go on TikTok because the case is all over TikTok." And of course, sitting at the kitchen table, what did we do? We went on TikTok and we found all of the people that were covering Alec and Lydia's case, and the only one that was covering it correctly was Chris on Crime. So thank you, Chris, for covering it correctly, because that was the only one that had the actual facts and all the stuff correct. So thank you.
I love her. I love her so much. Which I want her to say, can I share what you shared with me earlier, Chris? Can I share that? Or you can share it in the comments. Um, no, it's not to do with it, but it has to do with her, and it made my heart so happy. But she says, "Love you both so much." If anyone has any other questions, go ahead and add them. We are going to be doing this giveaway really, really soon.
Oh, and remember, I just want to say too, because we talked about season 2. So if you're on here and you don't know, season 2 will be released January 20th. The first 5 episodes will be going live.
Yes. Yes, they will. And then after that, it's bi-weekly. If you have not already went and listened to all of season 1, it is there with the bonus episode as well. So I think there's 11 episodes on there right now. So Chris, I just asked her, I was like, can I share it? So she does amazing stuff here on TikTok. She does amazing stuff in life. And like I've mentioned a million times, I just love her. But she did confirm that her podcast will be launched this month. So that is coming out, and I cannot wait for that. It has been only a matter of time that, it's like we just keep kind of push her, and I think she's been pushed enough. So now, but I love that so much. So you guys go and follow her too, Chris on Crime. She is absolutely incredible. So Hope, I want you to be a part of the wheel giveaway. So what I will do, if you have your computer still up.
I do. I can see you on the screen.
So I'm going to share my screen. So everyone who is watching right now, I will turn my camera so that you guys can see the wheel, but I want Hope to be able to be the one to say, hey, this is our winner, like when it comes through. So I'll share my screen with you and we can get that going. Get ourselves a merch winner. And just again, I know I mentioned it at the beginning, if you guys want merch, there is merch available on the merch site. There's a few different designs that you guys can look through, and there's so many different items, whether it's a coffee cup, a tumbler, a purse, a bag, an apron, a hoodie, a shirt.
Hoodie, zip-up hoodie, like all kinds of clothing. Yeah, and if you're like, where do I go? Go to voicesagainstfilicide.odoo.com, and then you can scroll down, and on the homepage right there is a link directly to the merchandise.
Yes, there is. And one of the, I have hiccup. Good time to have hiccup while we're on live right now. One of the shirts has a QR code, and that was one of the ones when we were at CrimeCon.
Yeah, we kept pulling Lauren. I'm so sorry, Lauren.
Yeah, so I feel like that's
pulling me.
It's such an incredible way to get people kind of like pique their interest and say, what's that about? So if you guys get that, you're practically a walking billboard for Voices Against Filicide to help and, share everything that is going on. Can you drop the merchandise website, please? Yeah, so the best way to find that is to go to voicesagainstfilicide.odoo.com, and on our website, there is the merch link there. I was going to say, there might be a way to add it in here. So Heather, if there is, go ahead and figure that out for me, please. Do that. Thanks. Okay. So do you have that? You have it up?
I do. Do I need to do anything, or I'm just reading?
Nope. Okay. I will spin it. It is going to spin around, and then it'll eventually point to the winner. I am also going to share on the screen so people can watch it live with us.
And then we'll tell them, after this person wins, we'll tell them how to get their merchandise, correct?
Yep. All right, here we go. We've got, I think it's 9 that are up there. And these are people who left ratings and reviews on social media, not on social media, on the podcast. And so if you guys have not done that, that is such a great way to help other people see the podcast.
On Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Yes. And if you need help, reach out to Rachel or myself or Heather. We can help you. I've had to literally take people's phone and be like, this is how you do it. And then they've left it. So please leave that review and rating, because it helps so much with the algorithm.
Yes, it does. All right. You ready for this?
Ready.
All right. Here we go. I wish Heather was here. She does a great drum roll, so I'll do a drum roll. Yeah. Oh, that's even better. All right, here it goes. We're spinning.
Gina.
Yes.
Gina gets
Okay.
merchandise. Whoop whoop.
She sure does.
Okay,
So-
and she's gonna be easy because she's like local. So yay!
That's awesome. So Gina, you will get into contact with Hope and choose what it is. Go Gina. We have comments. Go Gina. Choose what you want off that merge site for us to send to you and everyone else who, you know, did go on and leave a rating and review. We truly do appreciate it. Like I said, it really, really does help the algorithm to push out to other people. I feel like there was another
Yeah, I feel like there was other questions.
comment. Oh no, it's just people being funny. It was Lauren saying how fun it was to wear that sweatshirt and have people scan the QR code on the hoodie.
I know. I kept like pulling her around. Like people were like, "Can I scan something? What can I do? Can you write?" And I was like, "Here, turn around, Lauren," and like turn around, and they would scan her shirt.
Can you stand up? Can you straighten your hoodie out? And you have to like pull it down to perfectly be able to scan the QR code. But I mean, it's perfect too for if you know, a tumbler, one of the big coffee cups that you can take with you, because then people can see that and scan that. Mitten Made Pastries. Is
Yep,
that your sister?
Desi, my friend.
Okay. Okay. I was going to say, because she said, Emerson just looked at my phone and said, Aunt Hope.
Oh yeah, her kids call me at home. Hi, Emerson.
I love that. That's so cute. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions coming in right now, but
great. That was great. If you guys want us to do this again, let us know in the comments, and we'll do another one, and we'll see. Yeah, I like this. I like having it with you because it's better than like sitting in the ether and just talking to no one.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you liked having it with me because I know I feel like I got I eased into it once, we started.
You did awesome. You did an awesome job, Rachel. You need to be on stage with us.
No.
You know that I know that you're gonna say no, but I still do not.
So funny. The Hope, the goal, is it goals or GOLES? Well, GOLE. They say hello. The goals say hello.
Oh,
do you know them?
Oh yeah. Hi guys.
Okay. I was like, I don't know if it's goals. This was so awesome, ladies. Yeah. So, she's saying, yeah, I'm not going on stage. I'm not a stage human. But that's okay.
You will sit in the front row, but you will not be on stage.
I am a hype queen to my core, but I am not someone who likes to go up there. That is for sure. But you guys, thank you so much for coming on here. Like she said, hopefully, I won't say hopefully, we will do this again someday soon. And just, if you're not following, go follow Hope in the Pain, go follow the podcast, subscribe, listen, do all of those things.
Oh, also, I want to say one last thing. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, or if you know people on Instagram, have them come follow me there, because I need 1,000 people to go live on Instagram, and I'm at like 381. So please, I need more followers on Instagram. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we'll have to figure out a way that we can go live on Instagram. We might as well just do it tomorrow night and do the exact same thing we just did here. But I do think that if I add on there,
Are you gonna get it to work on Instagram?
I would just, so from my phone, I'll be able to do it from here. I don't know. The reason with the Instagram on my tablet was I was trying to put it up to the computer so that it could see us, and it wouldn't straighten, and it just kept turning every single time I turned it. But I wanted to focus on you, so I was like, okay, I'm turning that off now. So, we're learning, you guys, I promise. All right, so thank you again for being here. Hope
thank you,
doing this with you.
Yeah,
and we will talk to you guys later.
Bye guys.
Bye.